tried to base my free kick on Ronaldo, hit the ball by the valve, and it moves. So what do? Top corner, top bins.
In the last 25 years, Manchester United and Chelsea have won 4 Champions League titles, 14 Premier League titles and many other titles. It can be said that these are the 2 most successful football teams in England in the last 2 decades. In fact, there is more than one athlete who has played for both British giants. Some succeed at Man United, some at Chelsea, or fail at both clubs. At the moment, many sources believe that Man United wants to sign Mason Mount. So the authenticity and feasibility of that deal? First, it's sad that I have to say this. According to one of the most trusted journalists, David Ornstein, Mason Mount leaning towards joining Manchester United if Chelsea agree to sell. Old Trafford sources have indicated that talks over a move for the 24-year-old are set to commence. United want to pay in the region of £55 million for Mount, a price that falls way below Chelsea's £80 million valuation. According to Daily Mail, United may be prepared to increase their initial valuation of Mount given Ten Hag's determination to add the attacker to his ranks. The second thing I want to explain is Mount's current status at Chelsea. Mount earns just £80,000 a week and he is one of the 10 lowest paid players in the club, as per Seapology.com. This is Mount's salary since he signed a 5-year contract with the Blues at the start of the 2019-20 season. A recent report from The Telegraph has stated that Mount will expect to take home £300,000 per week in the future. However, this is an unbelievable salary compared to Mount's poor form this season. Third, Chelsea's desire is still to keep Mount on a long-term contract with a new higher salary. But if an agreement with Mount cannot be reached, Chelsea will sell the midfielder in the summer of 2023. Chelsea expect to gain from selling Mount for around £70 to £85 million. However, the risk of losing Mount when the contract expires is very high, like Rudiger and Christensen before it. In my opinion, Chelsea will accept to sell Mount for between £60 to £70 million if the situation does not improve. In an exclusive interview with TalkSport, former Blues man Oscar revealed that he thinks Mount should stay put. I think when you have a difficult season, not only for Mount but for the team, it's hard to talk about the players, but I think Chelsea have a lot of good young players. Sometimes it's better to keep these players and see if the coach wants these players for the team. Maybe he, Mount, can come back to play at the level that he can play at. Of course, he wants to play and he wants to play more. I think if he's not happy at Chelsea, sometimes it's better to find another team. If he's still happy and if he wants to try and be a great player at Chelsea, he needs to stay, said the Brazilian, who now plays for Chinese side Shanghai Port. In fact, if he moves to Man United, Mount has to accept the fact that not many stars succeed when switching between the 2 clubs. The best example is Juan Mata, another attacking midfielder who moved from Chelsea to Man United. The Spanish playmaker forged his name in Spain, Valencia to be precise, before eventually earning a move to Stamford Bridge in 2011. The £23.5 million signing lived up to expectations immediately, after recording 6 goals and 13 assists in his first Premier League campaign. In total, Mata would muster 32 goals and 58 assists from his 135 appearances for the Blues. He'd also go on to claim a Champions League, Europa League and FA Cup during that period. Despite earning back-to-back Player of the Year awards at Chelsea, his time in West London would come to an end during the winter transfer window in 2014. Newly appointed Chelsea boss Jose Mourinho was not a fan of the Spaniard and quickly shipped him off to Old Trafford, after the Red Devils bid £37.1 million. The attacking playmaker would go on to spend 9 years with United, initially starting as a key player before his appearances dwindled in later years. In his 285 appearances for the Red Devils, he'd go on to score 51 goals and get 47 assists while winning the FA Cup, Europa League and League Cup along the way. It is hard to say that Mata got what he wanted at United. At the same time, Chelsea won 2 Premier League titles and a Champions League after his departure. Unless Mason Mount does complete a move to Old Trafford, the last player to have made that switch is Serbian midfield maestro Nemanja Matic. The defensive midfielder had an interesting path to West London, after initially joining from Cois for a fee of around £1.5 million in 2009. He would make just 2 appearances in that stint at the club before leaving for Portuguese outfit Benfica just 2 years later, where he shone. His performances in Portugal raised suggestions that Chelsea should never have parted ways with him and, 3 years after selling him, re-signed him for £21 million. He proved to be a crucial player for the Blues during his 4-year stint there, where he helped the club win 2 Premier League trophies and an FA Cup. In 2017, Man United saw Matic as one of their number one priorities and quickly launched a £40 million bid for the midfielder, which was successful. Despite spending a year more at United than at Chelsea, the Serb left Old Trafford without a trophy to his name. The two examples above show that Mount's future if he moves to Man United will not be bright, and admits there will be a high risk of failure. Chelsea's soon-to-be-appointed manager Mauricio Pochettino is eager to work with the Englishman. The fans want him to stay. He is now the symbol of the club, from a young player to a big player. Like the advice Klopp gave Coutinho when he wanted to move to Barca. I have the same advice for Mount at the end of the Today video. Stay here and they will end up building a statue in your honor. Go somewhere else, to Man United, and you will be just another player. Here you can be something more. And that is also the last content in today's video. If you enjoy the video, please leave us one like and one subscribe, and don't forget to click the bell to not miss the latest content from us.